For thousands of years, dogs have been man's best friend, but how much do we really know about their history? Advances in genome technology have assisted in the understanding of historical and genetic processes that underline phenotypical diversity in dogs under domestication. A phenotype is all the apparent characteristics of an individual. To understand the genetic diversity of dogs, a genome-wide survey of 48,000 SNPs, nucleotide polymorphisms, which is a point of mutation, was conducted of dogs and their wild counterparts, the grey wolf, to determine the genetic diversity of phenotypical evolution. This shows that the domestic dog and the Middle Eastern grey wolf share a proportion of multi-locus heliotypes. These are a set of DNA variations that tend to be inherited together. These results suggest that the Middle Eastern grey wolf is the dominant source of genetic diversity in domestic dogs. Neighbour joining trees were constructed, and they reveal that even though there is no backcrossing between dogs and wolves, a mixture with wolves is in the minority of breeds. Most modern breeds are highly divergent from three ancient groups: the Asian, the Middle Eastern and the European group. This evidence is supported by the strict breeding regulations during the Victorian era. Three methods were used to identify the primary source of genetic diversity in dogs. The first method was an assessment of one wolf population with dogs in neighbour joining trees and was based on the sharing of heliotypes for individual breeds and populations. It suggested domestic dogs are more closely related with Middle Eastern wolves. Previous DNA sequencing has suggested that dogs have originated in Asia because there is high diversity within Asian breeds. However, it was later found that genetic diversity does not vary in a constant pattern, and current genetic diversity doesn't reflect ancestral populations because demographic history of dogs has varied substantially across geographical regions after domestication. The final method was an analysis of heliotype sharing between dog breeds and wolf populations. This found that the majority of breeds share heliotypes with Middle Eastern wolves and some sharing with European wolves. However, there was no significant sharing with Asian wolves. This suggests significant Middle Eastern and for some breeds European ancestry. This result is consistent with the archaeological record. The results show domestic dogs have genetic structures on three fundamental levels, resulting from separate evolutionary processes. First, within breeds, nearly all dogs were assigned to their breed of origin. This reflects a limited number of founders, inbreeding, and small effective population size characteristics of many breeds. Second, breed groupings are evident at a finer scale than previously described and mirror breed classifications based on form and function. This reflects crossbreeding to enhance abilities. Last, divergent lines of dogs were identified from distinct breeds that radiated during the 19th century and that probably derived from ancient geographical indigenous breeds. The evolution of the domestic dog contains several sources of variation from wild counterparts. This and interbreeding with wolves in early domestication has enriched the dog's genome. After the genome-wide synapse analysis, most breeds have been assigned to their breed of origin, with the majority of breeds originating from Middle Eastern wolves, with a significant number originating from European wolves. This has provided a new evolutionary framework for understanding the phenotypical diversity which is unique to the domestic dog.